Hello there, it's David. Welcome back to CrossFit Fitness, helping men and women get the best spiritual shape of their lives, one workout at a time. Quick thought, in this video that I'm calling the Fast Track to Wisdom. So we're at church yesterday, today's Monday when I'm recording this, and we're in what's called the Summer of Wisdom, okay? So the preachers, the pastors, they're speaking about wisdom every Sunday. The sermon is revolving around wisdom, how do we attain wisdom. A lot of wisdom in the Proverbs, a lot in the Psalms, certainly in all the scriptures. But the pastor yesterday was talking about really the fast track to wisdom, I'm calling it. And it's really bound up in a singular verse for me, but he shared a bunch of verses around the same topic. But in Proverbs 9, verse 10, it says this: fear and reverence for God is basic to all wisdom. Knowing God results in every other kind of understanding. Let me say it again. Fear and reverence for God is basic to all wisdom. Knowing God results in every other kind of understanding. And the whole theme of the sermon yesterday was the fear of the Lord. And verse after verse after verse was rooted in the fear of the Lord that led to wisdom. And so what is the fear of the Lord? Well, it's not, a phobia or, this irrational fear of God that he's up there or he's mad at you, he's angry with you, he's going to thump you on the head when we sin, do wrong. No, it's the reverential fear of God. It's, seeing God for who he is, the high and lifted up one. You talked about Isaiah, who, recognized him as the Most High, and he gave a bunch of other examples as well. But the big idea is the fear of the Lord. Now, back to that verse, Proverbs 9, verse 10. I was telling my wife, I was doing some calculations on that verse right there. In fact, that was one of the verses that the pastor used, put it on the big screen up front as kind of an evidence proof text that the fear of the Lord is the beginning of wisdom. And knowing that, having read the Bible for a long, long, long time, way back in 1993, okay? 1993, okay? We were still in DOS. Windows had just came out, Windows 3.0, okay? Okay, back then, I got a job at Nissan Motor Manufacturing in the computer department. I worked for a third-party maintenance company, keeping all the 6,000 peripherals and PCs and dumb terminals and all that, diskless workstations running and whatnot. And, it's kind of a job over my head, and I appealed to heaven on the basis of Proverbs 9, verse 10. I said, Lord, I need wisdom. And I took that verse, and I began to declare it, confess it. Every time I came up to my workstation, I would quote out loud at my keyboard, fear and reverence for God is basic to all wisdom. Knowing God results in every other kind of understanding. That was in 1993. And I did it multiple times a day. That was 32 years ago. What would you think if I told you that today, already, several times, I've said out loud Proverbs 9, verse 10. Fear and reverence for God is basic to all wisdom. Knowing God results in every other kind of understanding. You see, everybody, good habits are terribly hard to break. And back in 32 years ago, in 1993, 94, 95, I worked at that company, and I just relied on the wisdom of God, and it worked out beautifully. And I just never stopped. When I left that company, I went into ministry, and, I just kept saying every day, fear and reverence for God is basic to all wisdom. Knowing God results in every other kind of understanding. In fact, I linked it up with every time I went to the bathroom, okay? And so I know that sounds a little silly, but that's I'm just telling you that's what I did. And so every time I go to the restroom, whether it's at home, someone else's home, at a restaurant, at the gym, I just try to say that every single time out loud, under my breath, not bringing attention to myself, but I am acknowledging God. And so 3 things about the fear of the Lord. Number 1, it helps. We just need to acknowledge God. Reminds me of my life scripture, Proverbs 3, 5, and 6. Trust in the Lord with all your heart and lean not on your understanding. In all your ways Acknowledge him, and he shall direct your paths. Another scripture says those that come to him must believe that he exists, and he is a rewarder of them that diligently seek him. First of all, the fear of the Lord is rooted in just acknowledging that God is God, and we are not. Secondly, we need to not only acknowledge him, we need to honor him. Render the honor to whom honor is due, and he is the Most High God, creator of heaven and earth, creator of us, manufacturer of everything you and I see, and in whom we live and move and have our being. So we need to honor him. We need to acknowledge him and honor him. And I think thirdly, we need to just obey him. Jesus said, whoever has my commands in him and loves me, obeys me. Has my commands in him and obeys me. He's the one who loves me. He who loves me will be loved by my Father, and I too will love him, and we will come and make our home with him. I think that's Matthew 14:21. So, big idea here. You want wisdom? Fast track? Fear the Lord. Acknowledge him, honor him, obey him. There's a whole bunch of things, other verbs we could do. Worship him, submit to him, yield to him, invite him, bow the knee before him, before the rapture, before the grave, and you will be okay. All right, hope that encourages you a little bit. Come on, let's get wise up. Let's wise up. And for now, I'm David, your virtual mentor, reminding you that I'm always for you, never against you. Have a great day. See you.